Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the strategy of AI's newest and, frankly, most aggressive titan, xAI. Because in early 2026, this company didn't just enter the AI race. It felt like in just a few months, it completely redrew the entire map.
You know, for the longest time, the AI arms race seemed, well, kind of predictable. We all knew the big players. But as 2026 kicked off, a new force just exploded onto the scene, and it's moving with a speed and a scale that has completely changed the game for everyone. And this number tells you everything you need to know. By January, xAI had shot up to an absolutely staggering $230 billion valuation. We're not talking about just another well-funded startup here. This is a financial superpower built from the ground up with one goal: to challenge the entire industry. At the very heart of all this is their guiding principle, this mission for maximum truth-seeking. It's this ambitious, almost philosophical goal. And as we're about to see, this exact mission is the source of both xAI's unbelievable power and its most dangerous problems. Because that mission, that sort of unfiltered, no-holds-barred pursuit of truth, it led directly to a collision course with regulators, with governments, and with societies all over the world, sparking a crisis that honestly threatened to derail the whole project. So how on earth did they build this empire so fast? Well, it all starts with the hardware. xAI's first big move was this brute force strategy we're calling the compute offensive, a plan to build the single largest AI supercomputer on the planet, period. And to fund this whole thing, xAI closed a monumental Series E round, raising a war chest of $20 billion. This isn't just investment capital to keep the lights on. This is pure fuel for an unprecedented hardware expansion. So what does that kind of money actually buy you? It buys you this, the Colossus supercomputer. It's designed to scale to over 1 million H100 GPU equivalents. Just think of these as the specialized processors that are the brains of any AI. And xAI is basically building an army of them. This is the engine that's going to power every single one of their ambitions. And the scale is just, it's mind-boggling. The Colossus facility is designed to pull up to 2 gigawatts of power. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's enough energy to power about 1 million homes. It's a city-sized computer for a world-changing AI. Okay, so you've got this absolutely monstrous supercomputer. Now let's talk about the software, the brain that's running on all those chips. This is the intelligence engine, the rapidly, and I mean rapidly, evolving family of Grok AI models. The pace of development here has been just relentless. In early 2025, you have Grok 3 laying the groundwork. By November, Grok 4.1 makes this huge leap with a 2 million token context window. What does that mean? It means it could process the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy in a single prompt and remember all of it. Then, by January 2026, Grok 4.2 rolls out, really refining the model's consistency, especially for complex stuff like finance. So, how does Grok actually stack up against the competition? Well, what's really interesting here are the trade-offs. You can see OpenAI's GPT-5 is just a math genius, hitting a perfect score. But Grok 4.1, it takes the lead in factual accuracy, and it matches Google's Gemini with that absolutely massive context window. So this is the crucial point, right? There's a strategic divergence happening. GPT-5 is being positioned as the ultimate mathematician, a master of formal logic. Grok, on the other hand, is being built to be the ultimate librarian, incredibly reliable, factually accurate, and able to process huge amounts of information without just making things up. And this, right here, this is their economic attack. They are using that massive funding to just aggressively undercut the entire market. I mean, look at this. At just 20 cents per million input tokens, Grok 4.1 Fast is 15 times cheaper than some of its rivals. They're not just competing on performance, they're trying to make the whole market cheaper. But a massive digital brain and market-destroying prices are only part of the strategy. This is where we see xAI's real masterstroke, taking Grok's intelligence out of the cloud and putting it into the physical world, into cars, and most importantly, into robots. Now, the key piece of tech that makes all this possible is called a Vision Language Action Model, or VLA. It's a type of AI that doesn't just process text or look at images on a screen. It can see, it can understand, and it can act in the real world. This is the brain for Tesla's robots. So here's how it works in practice. First, the robot perceives the world through its cameras, streaming that video right to Grok. Second, it understands a spoken command, something like, "Hey, could you pick up that tool?" And finally, it acts, translating that command into thousands of tiny, precise motor controls to actually get the job done.
And the results are just stunning. The Optimus Gen 3 robot, with Grok as its brain, can hold a conversation with you while walking over rough ground. Its hands have 22 degrees of freedom, which allows for these incredibly delicate tasks. This isn't a chatbot anymore. This is an embodied intelligence. But this is where the story takes a really dark turn. That core mission of maximum truth-seeking, of building a totally unfiltered AI, well, it led to a direct and catastrophic collision with global society and its laws.
The whole crisis centered around Grok's image generation tool, and this quote from California's Attorney General, it really captures just how severe the backlash was. He called the platform a breeding ground for predators after reports came out that the tool was being used to create non-consensual deepfakes.
And the fallout was just incredibly fast. In early January, the reports surfaced. By January 9th, xAI's response, which was to make the feature a paid-only service, was seen as them monetizing abuse, not stopping it. And that just sparked more outrage. Within days, regulators across the world launched investigations, and by the middle of the month, entire countries started blocking the service outright.
Which brings us to right now, and the ultimate goal that underpins this entire crazy strategy: the high-stakes gamble on achieving artificial general intelligence with their next major release.
So, meet Grok 5, the AGI moonshot. We're talking about a 6 trillion parameter behemoth, trained from the ground up on video, audio, and text all at the same time. This omnimodal design means it learns from all senses at once, and it's intended to be that final step that unifies the digital brain with the physical body of the robot.
And this really brings us to the central tension of the entire xAI story. On one hand, you've got its disruptive pricing, its exclusive access to real-time data from X, and its lead in robotics. All of that gives it a massive competitive advantage. But on the other hand, its core philosophy has made it a prime target for regulators worldwide, which threatens its very existence.
So where does that leave us? Is xAI really on the verge of creating the world's first true AGI? Leapfrogging the entire industry in one single audacious move? Or is this aggressive, unfiltered approach just creating a multi-billion-dollar bubble, one that's destined to burst under the weight of its own controversy? The answer is going to define the next chapter of artificial intelligence.